Hello everyone, Jeff Brady here once again with Bloomin' in the Branch. This is your video segment once a month to give you tips and ideas to keep your garden, your lawn, your trees green. Whatever you're growing, we want to help you out. And once again, we're lucky enough to have our park supervisor, Ben Solis, with us here. And this month, Ben, we're talking about those irrigation systems that we all have, the sprinklers that pop up. And what you're saying, first of all, is I guess the first question is, should I adjust my irrigation system depending on the time of year?
Oh yes, absolutely. We have so many different conditions that come in, freezes, droughts, and you just have to be on top of that in order to get the best out of your system and have your landscaping looking good. So those seasons, we pretty much do the same for spring and fall. Summer's where we really got to pay attention and make sure that the system is operating at its peak. If not, you're wasting money, and of course your landscape's going to suffer because of it.
Okay, well that makes sense, Ben. So we should all be in the habit then of checking our home irrigation system every season, right?
Yes, actually more often than that. The seasons are what's going to dictate how you change your controller, but really you're looking at checking it every month, starting really now. This is May, and the season's going to come where it's going to get hot in the summer, and you want to be prepared for that. And then once it tapers down at the end of August, middle of August, then you start going back to tapering those programs down a little bit. Every season is different. We've had freezes, droughts. Every year is different, so you just have to be on top of it in order to program your controller properly.
Okay, got it. So inspections are huge, and they have to be done frequently. How do you conduct a proper inspection? How do I inspect my sprinkler system?
So we started with the controller. You're going to make sure that it's programmed correctly for the right number of days, the run times, start times. Everything is different for everybody's yard. You may have trees, shade, sun, full sunlight, but you've got to do it according to your yard. And then from there, from your controller, you go on into making a walkthrough, doing a visual inspection, making sure there's no broken heads, the heads aren't tilted, spraying onto your sidewalk, driveway. All that water is going to end up going down to the curb and into the city drainage system. So you've got to actually walk every station of your lawn sprinkler system, so that way you can make sure you're operating at peak performance.
So I should inspect it when it's off, I guess, just to check the heads. But then it sounds like you also should check when it's active to look at where the spray pattern is.
That's right, absolutely. Most of the controllers will have a testing station. Test your stations where it runs 1 to 2 minutes, and that will allow you to walk and see what it's doing. Make sure your spray patterns are uniform and there's not something bubbling out of the ground. You want to be sure you're going to the target instead of the hard surfaces. When you do a monthly inspection, you may do it on a Monday, and Tuesday you get a break. You won't know until the next month. So even when you're going to and from your car, just going out of your house, look for those dry spots, those yellow spots, places where you go, hey, that doesn't look right. And you may have to do some supplemental inspections. The whole system is meant to be a supplemental system to the natural rain, but you've still got to take the time to do your own visual inspection at the off times, because most of the systems will come on in the early morning hours.
And you won't see it.
You just won't see it until it's brown. And so if you love your lawn, you'll put a little more time into it and just keep an eye on it so you can make sure, hey, something's not right. I didn't put it on long enough, or there is something broke.
Okay, got it, Ben. And another question that comes up has to do with overwatering, of course, and we've talked about it before. But if I'm a homeowner, how do I make sure I'm not wasting water by using too much on my lawn?
Water conservation is really big, and everybody has their preference on how they want their lawn landscaping to look. So what's good for you is not good for me, and everybody has different trees, shade, sunlight, so you have to adjust for what your need is. But overall, everybody could probably use a little less water on their lawn. We always say to water deeper less often. So if you go through and you water once a week and you hit it hard, and you may not have to hit it again till the next week. And then of course you've got to be sure that you're watching your rain sensor. If you don't have one, get one, because if it rains and you're still watering your lawn, that's a waste. We don't need it going down the drain. You certainly don't want your dollars going away just for the fun of it. And really, the rain sensor is just there in case it does rain. It'll turn off the system and provide that break that it needs.
All right, thanks, Ben. Once again, this has been Bloomin' in the Branch, your informational video once a month to help you keep your garden green. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll have more tips for you next month.